Yeah. So we are on the same topic about what's the semantic role of subject as the recipient one. We have said the subject can be can have a recipient role if I have the verbs own, possess, have, okay, benefit from, yeah. Again, we have the verbs see and hear. See and hear will have recipient role, in contrast to look at and listen to will have a genitive role. The other perceptual verbs عندي taste و smell. Taste to smell and feel have both a genitive meaning corresponding to look at and a recipient meaning corresponding to see. Let us see. طبعا ده يقول لي احنا before that we have classified the perceptual verbs and see and hear. They are with what? Recipient role. Recipient role. Look at and listen to, they have a genitive role. Okay, I am talking about the subject. But I have the other perceptual verbs like taste, smell, and feel. These have what's both a genitive meaning and a recipient meaning. Let us see. Foolishly, he tasted the soap. Foolishly, he tasted the soap. Foolishly. Foolishly. I say what? It is a dynamic adverb. Dynamic adverb. Here, the verb here again, it is what's dynamic one. What does it mean here? Look, he, what is the role of he here? It has a genitive semantic role. How? Because he himself who tasted the soap. So he is the doer of the action. So the sentence is grammatically okay. Foolishly, he tasted the pepper in the soup. This sentence is an grammatical one. This sentence is an grammatical one. So he has non-genitive manner. This sentence doesn't make sense. It is related that not he himself who tasted the pepper in the soup. Okay, he tasted the soup by himself, but not he himself tasted the pepper. So all in all, I have the adverb foolishly requires the agenitive. The second sentence, which can be only understood in an agenitive manner, doesn't make sense. Then you have other verbs indicating a mental state may require a recipient subject. Minimum, I thought. You were mistaken. Had you, it is what? It is, sorry, it is recipient one. I liked the play. I like the play. So it is what? Recipient role. Normally recipient subject go with the state of verbs. Some of them notably have and possess, have no passive form, and they have a beautiful house. Here I cannot have the passive form for such verbs. So I have said, let us make something a quick revision for the semantic roles of the subject. Have the agenitive, which is the most common, the affected, the instrumental, and the recipient. Then I have other semantic roles for the subject: locative, temporal, and eventive subjects. Here I have the subject may have the function of designating place or time. Place or time. شو نقول عليه? It is locative meaning. Locative mean place, locative, time, temporal. Let us see. This path is swarming with ants. This path is swarming with ants. So this path is a subject syntactically, semantically it is locative. The bus holds 40 people. It will be what? It will be syntactically the subject, semantically it is locative. Unlike a swarm, the verbs in such sentences do not normally admit the progressive. يعني طبعا هذه is swarming تقبل هذه ال ing because it is dynamic verb, it is okay. But hold cannot have the ing, the progressive or the dynamic verb. وما تقبل أصلا ال passive. Okay. What about the temporal subjects? Temporal, referring to time expressions, can usually be replaced by the empty th. The temporal expressions becoming adjuncts. You know adjuncts? Yeah. Tomorrow is my birthday. Tomorrow is my birthday. Tomorrow, first of all, I can substitute tomorrow by it, saying it is my birthday. Tomorrow it can be syntactically subject, semantically temporal subject, referring to time expression. The winter of 1970, again it is syntactically subject, semantically temporal because it refers to what? To time expression. The last one I have, event of subject with abstract noun head designating arrangement and activities. Different from others in permitting intensive complementation with the time adverbial. The concert is on Thursday. The concert is on Thursday. Here I have a time for an event, for a certain event. Here is saying the concert is the concert, the festival, the program. والله ما أعرف اللي يعرف شلون أسوي هذه. Okay, so it is syntactically subject, semantically eventive. But it is ungrammatical to say the concert hall. يشوفون hall is a place و Thursday is what? Is a time. So this sentence is ungrammatical. Then we have what is called empty subject. Empty. A subject may lack semantic lack, you see, there is no semantic, there is no meaning for the subject. Content altogether and consists only of the meaningless proper it. So this it doesn't mean, it is meaningless, it means nothing. Especially with the climatic and concerned with weather, okay? Predication. It is raining, snowing, it's getting dark. It is noisy in here. So what is the function? Syntactically subject, semantically it is empty or a prop. When I go empty subject or a prop subject. Yeah. Look at this note. The prop subject, it, as discussed here, must be distinguished from the anticipatory it. يعني أنا عندي two types of it here. Prop it اللي هي empty it and the anticipatory it. Listen, what about the anticipatory? What does it mean? It was nice seeing you. It was nice seeing you. Where the prop subject is a replacement for a postponed clausal subject. يعني seeing you was nice. It was nice. So this is what إنه it is a replacement for something clausal subject, seeing you, to see you. Yeah. I think it is clear for you. Yeah. Please, if you have any question, so write me soon. Yeah. Locative and affected object. Locative and affected. At the beginning, we have said the typical semantic rules of direct object is what's affected. اللي وقع عليه فعل الفاعل. Affected with A. But later on, we are going to have what is called locative and affected object. We turn now to roles of the direct objects. Apart from the affected, semantic types of direct objects are the locative and effected objects. An example of the locative is the horse jumped the fence. هسه هذا direct object، هذه locative because there is a location. There are similar uses of such verbs as turn, leave, reach, surround, penetrate, mount, cross, climb. Okay, if there is a location in the position of a direct object, so the semantic role of that direct object is what? Is locative. What about the unaffected object? Affected is one that refers to something which exists only by the virtue of the activity indicated by the verb. You see, it is the result of that action, of that verb, of that event. So, birds invented television. So, what is indicated by the verb, by the activity of the verb? I have what I have, television. So the result of the invention, I have the object television. I'm writing a letter. As a result of writing, I have a letter. With a genitive object and unaffected object، ايش راح نقول؟ تشوفون هذا النورمال، طبعا هاي أكثر جمل نحن بدنا نصير a genitive subject affected object اللي هو اللي قام بالفعل اللي هو السبجكت واللي وقع عليه فعل الفاعل. One may always capture part of the meaning of a clause X destroy Y by saying they or X and هو السبجect did something to Y, but this doesn't apply to unaffected object. You see؟ هذا بحالة ال S a genitive والO affected. إنه the subject did something to the direct object. Okay? لكن بالaffected bird invented television doesn't imply that bird did something to television. لا. bird what invented يعني كأنه what created new thing which is what television. One may include this category also the type of object sometimes called cognate فعل مطلق which repeats partially or wholly the meaning of the verbs and sing a song. Yeah. Look at this note. A more dubious category of object consists of phrases extent or measure as he ran a mile, he cost $10, it weighs almost a ton. طبعا all as these clauses do not normally permit the passive. طبعا يعني كل هذه do not permit cannot be passive. There is reason to analyze them. طبعا maybe يعني from the first look I can say they can have SVC SVO, but actually they can be realized as SVA. Why? The final elements اللي هو a mile, $10, almost a ton behaves at least marginally like a direct object as is shown by a question from what's long, how much, how does it weigh, how much does it weigh. This ambiguity of sentence such as we ate a lot which may be SVO or SVA. طبعا احنا من اريد انطي close tie for this sentence المفروض يقول لي يعني it naturally to say what SVA but you can say SVO. A third type of affected object takes the form of a verbal noun preceded by a common verb of general meaning. مثل do, make, have, take, give. This construction is often more idiomatic expressions in colloquial English than an equivalent construction with any transitive verb. He little, he did little work that day. He did little work that day. هسه little work it is affected. He made several attempts to contact me. Several attempts, it is what? It is affected direct objects. The prisoner made no comments. Again, all of them are what? Are affected. Have and take in these examples have a genitive subject. Have and take. Have what? A genitive subject. Have being the typical British and take the typical American, which while give شبيهة usually has an evaluatory force and therefore accompanies unaffected subject. يعني هسه أني he is having a bath. هذا he what is it? A genitive one. هذه he took a rest. هذا he subject a genitive. But he gave a jump. It will be affected. هذا he is affected. Look at the note. Have can more easily have an affected subject than take the baby had. The baby had, but I cannot had a bath, but you cannot say the baby took a bath. لكن he took a beating. You know, the baby had a bath. The baby had a bath, but you cannot say the baby took a bath. But you can say the baby, he took a beating. Close. Move to the affected indirect objects. قلنا the typical semantic role of the indirect object اللي هو شنو؟ recipient one. So it must be there is some sort or another semantic role for the affected indirect اللي هو affected. Affected, it will be something strange. How to have indirect object having a semantic role of affected? Let us see. There is only one exceptions to the role that the direct object has the role of recipient. احنا هسه normal انه recipient. This is when give, the verb give, or sometimes related verbs like pay, on, has an affected object as direct and unaffected object as indirect. يعني إذا عندي طبعا أكيد يعني if I have the indirect object I must have a direct object in the same sentence. هذه something normal. If I have the verbs pay and gave, the matter will be different. How? I paid her a visit. هذه S a genitive, her اللي هي indirect objects. Okay, a visit اللي هي what? The direct objects. Okay, زين. I gave the door a couple of kicks. Listen, I visited her. هذا ايش راح يكون الهير؟ affected by the visits. affected by the visits. شوفوا I visited her. affected by the visits. لكن not the same thing. I cocked the door a couple of times. So again it will have what's the door, it will have affected وقع عليها فعل الفاعل. These clauses as the paraphrases make a clear equivalent to clauses with a direct object as affected objects. طبعا here I have a summary for all the semantic roles of the clause elements. If there is an agenitive it is S. يشوفون إذا تشوفون agenitive it is S. If not, if there is instrumental it is S. If not, if there is unaffected it is S. If not, if there is allocative or temporal a temporal eventive it may be S. If not, the prop. يعني هذه something the semantic role, the different semantic role for the subject: agentive, instrumental, affected, locative, temporal, locative, eventive, sorry, and the prop is. Natural, the passive transformation applies. It transforms the role of the direct or indirect object to the subjects. We are going to stop at this point today. By God's will, in next lecture I am going to deal with conquered. Okay.